Agboto, long life, Cabo, welcome. Adupoy Ori Egun, we thank the ancestors for their wisdom. You might want to take a look at the syllabus for today. We're not going to actually take a look at specific Oriki, but we're going to look at the role and function of Oriki Esu so that we can begin to use that material appropriately. All right, so in maybe contradiction to the common understanding of Esu in the diaspora, in traditional Ifa, there's only one Esu. It's called Esu Odara. Esu Odara, from the Elysian Esu Odada Ra, from the Elysian, Odu Ara, pardon me. Okay, so Esu Odu Ara means the body of Odu, meaning the complete corpus of Odu, so the Esu that allows us to communicate with all Odu, or every aspect of our faith, including every spirit that's honored by our faith. So the other names for Esu, which are called roads of Esu, you could call it roads. I prefer to call it jobs or functions, because when we call it roads, it leaves the mistaken impression that each Esu is a separate entity, which is not true. We do have different materials we use to support different aspects of Esu, but they do not incarnate something separate from the fundamental Ashe of Esu, which is incarnated in the Odu. Oshe Otura, Oshe Tura. Oshe Tura brings the principle of fecundity, which means makes all things fertile. So when we do initiation into Ifa, for example, the 16 Meji Odus are invoked on your head, and then Oshe Tura is invoked to cause those 16 Odus to copulate, giving birth to the Omo Odu. So the 16 Mejis are often called Olu Odu, meaning the chief of Odu, and then the Omo Odus are the ones that arise as a result of matching up the 16 legs with the other 16 legs, giving 256 options. So Oshe Tura also speaks clearly that Oshun gives birth to Esu. So that factor is included. So with the invocation of Esu, you can always let me back that up a little bit. So each Esu, each Odu has its own Esu. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So we have, and the name of the Esu for each of the Odu is the name of the diviner with the prefix Esu. So let's give an example. I think I have the example of Ije Ogbe. So in Ije Ogbe, one of the names of the diviners is Owotara Esetara Otara Tara, meaning the hands belong to the feet belong to the hands, and the hands and the feet belong to the entire body. So in a liturgical sense, we can see where this is a symbolic reference to quantum entanglement, the idea that everything's interrelated, which makes sense because it appears in the Odu Ije Ogbe, which is the Odu that gives birth to the consciousness of all things. Ije Ogbe, from the Elysian Ije O Egbe, meaning the first manifestation of the spirit of all things, or the spirit of consciousness, which then separates and multiplies into billions of component parts while maintaining its connection to source. So this is the issue that we can invoke to further explore, understand, and I would say communicate with that particular phenomenon, the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. So also each verse, each Odu has as many as 100 verses or more. So we could say that there are literally thousands of names for Eshu as it relates to the particular verses of Odu that incarnate the spirits we're referring to, if that makes sense. But the primary Eshu for each of the Orishas is incarnated with Owanren, which is a manifestation of the function of Eshu to communicate, with the Odu that incarnates the Orisha itself. So on the study sheet listed in the Egbe page, we have Ochosis, Owanren, Okanran, Ogun is Owanren, Ogunda, Obatala, Owanren, Ogbe, Olokun, Owanren, Irite, Yemaya, Owanren, Odi, Shango is Owanren, Obara, Oya is Owanren, Osa, Oshun is Owanren, Oshe, Nana is Oshe Torah, and Osain is Oshe Torah. So when you're invoking each of these Eshus for a specific Orishas, as you would do during an initiation, you can do it one of two ways. You can mark Oshe Torah on the top of the tray and then the Odu underneath it, or you can put Oshe Torah to the right and the Odu to the left. Sometimes I just mark the incarnating Odu itself. I think all of those have proven to be effective. But so each of those Eshus has a name. I don't remember. I think Ochosi is Eshu Ipira, meaning Eshu of boundaries. Ogun is Eshu Eboda. Obatala is Eshu Oboda, meaning opens the offering, or opening the elevation. Obatala is Eshu Oke, the Eshu of the mountains. Olokun is Eshu Ajay, the Eshu of female power. As is Yemaya, same thing, Eshu Ajay. Shango is Eshu Ijapa, meaning the turtle being the symbol for courage. Oya is Eshu Ijapa as well. Oshun is Eshu La Roye, which is the Eshu of the river. La Roye literally means Allah Ro Yeye, meaning light possesses the mothers. Nana is Oshe Torah or Eshu Adara, because of the close association between Nana's healing ability and the necessity to supplement that with Ifa divination. Where are we? Oh yes, Osai no Shetora, same thing. Eshu Odar. So I guess the final point I want to make as we prepare to study each of these aspects of Eshu Odara is that the function of Eshu, which has been known to traditional Yoruba elders for at least 10,000 years, has only recently been discovered in terms of being able to connect its function and nature to the particular forces in nature that are being addressed through Eshu. So, as a result of some research I did, some consultation I did around a very sophisticated lie detector, I discovered from the research that the human brain experiences ideas based on archetypes. Archetypes being the same thing as the marks of Odu and the combination of those. And each of those archetypes registers at a specific frequency in the specific part of the brain. So as we grow up, when those frequencies are triggered, we begin to make cultural associations with those brain frequencies, and we call those frequencies words, and the words form language. So Esu, when we invoke Esu, we're asking nature itself to communicate us in its fundamental manifestation as frequency. But when Esu accomplishes that function, we, by home training and developmental progress through our life, associate those frequencies with specific words. So it's for this reason that there's a profound miracle, I believe, in terms of how we practice our faith, and that is that Esu translates the language of spirit into the language of humans, but always does that in the language we speak. That's truly an amazing phenomenon. You know, there's some insistence in certain quarters that Orisha speak to you in Yoruba, otherwise it's not valid. No, Orisha speak to you in frequency. Frequency is interpreted through the language you speak. So the validity of a possession is not predicated on the language that's being spoken at all. That just makes no sense in terms of understanding nature. So we are blessed to be able to know with certainty that our prayers are heard, because our prayers are spoken using the words expressed by certain frequencies, which means they can then resonate with nature, and then nature resonates with us, which is why I put an emphasis on trying to understand nature, because nature is the context in which Esu communicates. All right, so let me look quickly to see if there's any questions this morning. Everybody's saying hello. Oh boy, but she's saying, okay. So I'm not seeing questions here. Last call for questions, and then I'm going to call it a day.